But I think we're good. I think we're good. Any other questions? If not, Kevin, get ready because I'm going to have you guys start off here in just a moment. Let me get my clock going. And then again, Anu and Banu, you guys are up next. So I'd recommend being prepared. Let me get my clock timer. 5 minutes. Kevin, as soon as you begin speaking, your time begins.
I'm ready.
Okay.
In 2017, while I was on vacation in Puerto Rico, I narrowly escaped Hurricane Irma, which took 130 lives and cost $77 billion in damage, only to return home to Miami to find myself in a mandatory evacuation zone, with the car that won't start and not enough gas to escape the storm. This situation is something Floridians fear every year. Despite preparation, a hurricane's path remains unpredictable until it reaches Florida's shore. Its direction and speed can change quickly, turning a seemingly safe zone into a disaster area within hours. This was the case in Tampa last year. Escaping a hurricane is a big challenge, and it's full of uncertainty. Is my house in a flood zone? What's the best way to leave? Will I find gas or a charging station along the way? If my car breaks down, how do I get to the closest hurricane shelter? And most importantly, are my loved ones going to be safe? Don't you wish there was a companion at times like this?
Which is why we came with an app called Compa. It is a hurricane evacuation companion. The team, called Hurricane Riders, is made of Michael, Dave, Bernardin, Rick, and Kevin. We are using an chat agent, answering the question on crowdsourced real-time data, flood zone alerts, evacuation routes, hazard warnings, shelter and gas station proximity and availability. We're now going to show you using a prototype how it is done by Rick.
Welcome to our app, Compa. Next screen. Before we begin, the user must register with our app. Next. In this disclaimer, we warn the user that the model is imperfect and we are using the data to train the AI. Next. But if the user is in a true emergency, they should dial 911. Otherwise, the user enters or speaks their zip code to the AI agent. Next. Once the zip has been entered, it shows where the high flood zone is, represented by the dark orange color. In a few, Dave will show us how this works via the Jupyter Network notebook. While this view is showing, AI is generating the path to find the nearest shelter. Next. But before the route begins, we do allow the user to pick custom, which gives them the ability to pick up a relative before going to the nearest shelter. Next. As you travel the route, we see real-time messages showing user hazards on the driving path. Soon, Michael will show how RAG using the Quadra database makes this magic happen. We aren't done yet. Stay tuned. Dave?
Our interactive hurricane application app brings essential data right to your fingertips. Simply select your location, hurricane category, evacuation preference from the intuitive drop-down menus. With just one click, our app instantly accesses your risk level, range from low to high, clearly marked in green, orange, or red. Behind the scene, the app fetches real-time weather conditions, temperature, weather status to keep you informed. It even tracks the hurricane's current and projected positions, plotting them dynamically on Google Maps. Whether you're planning to stay with family, find a public shelter, or secure a hotel, our app gives you critical insight and acceptable guidance. Stay prepared, stay safe, and navigate hurricane threats confidently.
All right, we'll now demonstrate how our real-time RAG system uses reports from users to provide dynamic hurricane safety advice. How does it work? Users post weather updates in real time, which we stream via Kafka, and those posts are stored in a QRAM vector database with vector similarity search capabilities, of course. When a user asks a question, the system pulls a relevant post from Qdrant and feeds them to OpenAI for a conversational response. For the live demo, we simulated 50 posts, reporting some winds and minor flooding 12 hours before the storm. As a user asks, is it safe to go outside? The AI advises caution, but says travel is still possible. Then we generated 50 new posts about flooding and high winds, simulating when the storm arrives. The system, the same user asks again, but now the AI strongly warns against going outside based on the latest data. The key takeaways are that the system updates in real time and ensuring AI gives an accurate context-aware safety recommendations.
Thank you, class, for listening to our project.
Okay, good stuff. That is a very strong opening. Excellent job. Again, questions and answers saved for afterwards. Who we got next here? I got Banu and Anu. The nutritionists. Okay.
One day, I happened to be visiting my daughter in school for parental lunch, and I saw my daughter having her lunch, and a lot of the kids down there were talking about calories and trying to be maintaining their aligning to the body health. So the health, what we eat and the body that we maintain. So they were discussing more in terms of nutrition and calories. So then I thought, like, what I can do from AI models that are available here to come up with some tracking system. So I came up with this, and it has a general registration process. And then once you enter in, you give your based on the sign up page, it'll ask your date of birth and the kind of height and weight you are into, and it'll calculate the BMI mass index, and then it'll try to give you the kind of calories that you can recommend here, and then based on your interest of workout, and you can specify what exactly you want to maintain per day basis. And what you do is, like yesterday, I had this food. So today I am planning to have some veg conscious burger. And what it does is it will generate the overall data, and then per meal data out here, and it gives me the navigation bar. The green indicates that you have met your calorie goals, and somewhere where you haven't met, it'll give you in red. And you can navigate to wherever you want from here, and then uh, prediction will tell you, like, what are the steps that you need to take to reduce or meet to your weight loss. So you can go about calibrating in based on that. So this is a proof of concept I have been working on, and this I got the backend API, which is this particular company works and exposes an API, and I requested them. They gave me 6 months of free access for their API, which is on CNN and classification model that they have. And this is basically for US region kind of diet. And there is scope for yeah, creating our own model and then monetizing this particular application for lower monthly rentals for the students' affordability. That's it from my end.
Are you guys good? What? Anyone else on your team?
That's it.
Okay, great. I love the idea. Very good. Okay, let's see who we got next. We got Ashwin and Mukun. This will be interesting. You're requesting to allow multiple presenters to share. Sure. This will be interesting. And as soon as you begin, I'll start your timer.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. As they say, the network outage is like an unplanned coffee break, except no one asked for it, and it always leaves us wondering if our wires are on vacation. Next slide. Yeah. So this typical this slide shows a typical network outage process that every company goes through. And network outage, I mean, when you cannot go to the web browser or anything. Right? So typically it's split into two main sections. First section is what happens during the outage. Like what the company says, hands on deck, everybody's trying to help the customer. Second step is what happened after the outage. In this section, we are going to mainly focus on the second part of this entire process. The reason being that second part gives you the introspection of what happened, what are the preventive actions, and how do you make sure end-to-end stakeholders are fully aware and communicated. Next slide. Before I go to the objectives, this is the typical format of the document that pretty much any big or small any networking company they would follow when there is an outage. The blue one shows the incident format. That's typically exactly what happened from the field when the incident was open. The yellow one shows the report format. That has a lot of details of what impact analysis and whatnot. And this document serves the purpose end to end for the company. The orange one below shows why this format is useful. It's not only it's a comprehensive, it has actionable items, and the most importantly, it is executive friendly, but at the same time, it gives a deep dive analysis for engineers. On the right hand side, Ashwin, you may want to generate the RCA document. So now, knowing what the second section that we are going to look into, how that document gets generated, which has all the introspections. Let's define what are our objectives. Now we understood the process, we understood the complexity and the introspection that needs to happen. So objectives we came up with is here we are trying to standardize the process. Second one, we are trying to time save because by using the newest AI technologies, we are going to reduce the time from 6 to 11 to pretty much 90%. And the third, streamline the communications. To achieve this, the right-hand side shows what Gen AI tools that we use. First, we use NA10, then the OpenAI, and the third one, 11 Labs. We integrated all these together to serve our objectives. Next slide, please. Now, this is the show time. Ashwin, please jump in. Ashwin? Ashwin, we can't hear you. Ashwin?
You're on mute. You're still on mute.
He says there is an outage in his
Yeah,
app.
it's an outage. He's writing it on Discord.
Hello. Hi. So, sorry. So about the,
I'll give you an extra 30 seconds. You still got a minute and a half to go.
can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry for that. Yeah. So as you can see, we already put a trigger in there. The trigger was the incident ID on which everything was recorded. It's like a live document of what's going on in an outage. Then the trigger at the backend, we are using init-in workflow manager, which accesses the in-time artifacts that happen during an outage, like the configuration snapshots of the devices that have been hampered, device logs, some information from the internal and external tool monitors. We take this information and use LLM to correlate different logs and snapshot data to come up with a unified insight and analysis about what might have happened during the outage, right? Once we have all that data collected, we write it in a consolidated file and we feed that file to another LLM to generate streamlined reports for different types of stakeholders that we have. So the first stakeholder is the network engineer who just requested this report sometime back. As you can see, the report has been generated in a standardized format. This format can vary across industries, but overall it's pretty much the same, where you specify what happened and the preventive actions. Along with this report, we also send a standardized format to our executives who love to know about everything that has happened. So it has some additional information like performance metrics and lesson learned. So the same content, but we are presenting in a different way. Third is once it's resolved, we will also show our end users about what happened during the outage. So we are telling them that, okay, we have posted it on our social media as well about the outage and what users should expect next. And lastly, we have posted a message on Discord.
Dear customers, we recently experienced a network outage that resulted in disruption to your services. Our team rapidly identified and isolated the issue, repaired it, and performed thorough testing. For the inconvenience, we're offering you 15 days of free internet. Please reach out to us at 1800 data for any further assistance. Your patience and understanding are greatly appreciated. Hash network outage, hash customer support, hash free internet, hash service restored, hash tech update, hash stay connected.
Hash end of presentation. That was great. Good job, you guys. That was really good. I love the voice at the end too. Piyush, you are next. And by the way, you guys, you're welcome. Piyush, we got the Fraud Busters.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, great presentation though, guys.
Thank you, Tony.
Can you guys see my screen?
We sure can.
Okay, we are ready to start. So thank you guys. The Fraud Busters are going to focus on anti-money laundering. There's four of us, Karthik, Raghav, Eric, and me. And thanks, Sanjay, for your help. So moving on, what is AML? So essentially, it's the web of laws and regulations and procedures. These are aimed at uncovering efforts to disguise illicit funds because in the banks, there's a lot of funds going back and forth, credits, debits, payments. And the idea is to, make sure that no fraud is happening and that there's no illicit activity supported by any of those efforts. So moving on, typically there are four key areas for AML. One is the transaction monitoring. The other one is suspicious activity reporting. Transaction monitoring is as the transaction is happening. If the bank figures out it's fraudulent, they'll stop it or they'll ask a customer to give them more information. Suspicious activity is more as the activity happens, they say it could be suspicious and then it goes to a different group. They will eventually report on it to the regulators. There's also currency transaction reporting and know your customer. We have not targeted those areas for our demo. So for transaction monitoring, we actually downloaded data from Kaggle. We created a Python notebook on Colab. We actually uploaded the transaction data, 6.4 million rows. We ran different kinds of regression on it. And then we had actually a training and a testing set of data. And essentially, we conducted analysis on it. And again, for SAR, Raghav is going to talk to you about that. So, for example, we uncovered a lot of patterns like Saturday and Sunday are the busiest days for transactions. What kind of fraudulent activity is being caught, and what kind of fraudulent activity is being reported? There was times when there was fraudulent activity which was actually not being caught, and we found that XG boost and random forest were some of the best ways to handle that. In the interest of time, I'm going to move on, and I'm going to hand over to Raghav for suspicious activity reporting.
Sure. Thanks, Piyush. So as part of this suspicious activity reporting module, we are going to cover a transactions analysis of individual transactions to our end clients. As part of that implementations, we have used, this is a overview where we have used React, and then we have used some OpenAI API integrations with the features where the users can enter some data, and we can generate a suspicious report whether that falls under that or not. And there are next steps which we are planning to make some more improvement, but now we will jump to some demo parts where we can show you how it works. So Piyush, can you open that screen?
Yes, so I'm going to actually run a transaction for $1,000, and I'm going to send some money.
I cannot see your screen, Piyush.
You don't see it?
Yeah, this is still that slide. You need to show that screen.
I'm sorry, my fault. Can you see now?
Yeah, now I can see. Right. So Piyush is running a transactions analysis for one of the transactions where it is for 1,000 only. We can provide the sender and receivers. We are trying to train the models in behind based on the data what we have got and the other things. And if you will see after creating and generating the suspicious reports, these reports will briefly tell whether this transactions where this transactions falls into. So
we
it
have
looks
about a minute left, so I'm going to actually move on to run the second one. So this is for a transaction which has got, which was for $1,000. So not very suspicious. We're going to run another one for $10,000, and this one could be considered suspicious. So bottom line, we have. Go ahead, Raghav.
Yeah, so bottom lines, we have different categories based on the risk assessment of the transactions. So if the transactions falls under the suspicious activity, then we will provide a reports, and then the next actions can be taken by the clients. So that's it. I think we can move next, Piyush.
All right, so moving on to Eric, you're up. You have 30 seconds.
Sure, I'm gonna tell real quick, based on the product requirements that we talked in the beginning, all those four models, some of the things that we want to do that we didn't have the time, but we are preparing for it. We want to increase some functionalities. The first one being batch upload, right? For example, let's say you're a company with all of financial transactions into a spreadsheet. You can just upload a spreadsheet, and then we run the model analysis against it. The next functionality that we want to increase is having a page which is the refined transaction analysis and create all the SAR reporting for individuals. So you have like a double click into each of the financial activities, and then it's gonna use GenAI to create an analysis. And finally, the dashboard in which you can track all the KPIs and all the generated insights, and then you can create timelines and topic cluster to better understand what's going on with the financial transactions from your company. And that's what we have for today. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Great job, you guys. Great job. That looks really interesting. Let's see. Data bots. John.
Let me. Okay, hey everyone. So AI Patroller. So this is someone or a team that can handle crucial tasks under any type of pressure. Unfortunately, my data bots are not here. So AI Patroller. We're a multifaceted company and a multifunctional ecosystem tailored for individuals, organizations, and industries. I'm going to do some demos for the individuals. So another thing is groundbreaking global AI-driven solutions. So ensuring authenticity, promoting trust, mitigating risks as far as like plagiarism, authentic writing, creative writing, certificates, and then there's the integrity, reliability, and data life, and diverse industries started with AI-generated content and digital communication. So this is just a comprehensive list of some industries. These are the industry applications. Oops. Let me go back to this, where we use cases, revenue streams, and then, oops. Let me just skip forward to this. Excuse my error. So yeah, the target customers in relation to the industry and the market size for this on a global AI market size is 1.8 trillion compared to the global deficit, which is 300 billion, and adding unique value propositions. So industry-specific solution, multifaceted applications, advanced AI detection, real-time analysis, customizable features focused on transparency. So let me go to the demos. Okay, let me see. So, I have lost my feed. Second. Okay, so for text analyzation, so this right here, I'm gonna type or paste this. So here, kind of like, I don't know, if you're on the go on an expo or something and you need like some summarizations and you're one of the types to just wing it, or this can do across. So this gives like a federation score, which is a result from all models combined using a proprietary federation algorithm to provide a single reliable score. So down here, I have just kind of like an analyst dashboard that does all this analytic stuff. Let me see. I also have this packing assistant. So let me see. That is not natural disasters. Okay, unfortunately, I cannot access that. Okay, so let me see. So this is daily affirmations. So the focus with the individuals in healthcare, in legal, in academics. So these are affirmations to just get them, if they need some words of encouragement or just something to get through to uplift their days. There's options where they log into maybe a controller and they have streaks and just statistics. Let me see. Okay, so this one is an interactive map. So I don't think this demo is working. So say I can type in, say, Singapore. So here, okay, this is embarrassing. So this kind of just comes up with a comprehensive list of just, so you got active disasters, resource status, evacuation routes, weather conditions. This pretty much just, even as an AI solutions architect, even going out on the field and collecting data sets, just kind of dealing with the government officials, city officials, just getting the ethical backgrounds to just implications to do kind of things or connecting APIs. Let me see. And this is Brainwave, so AI Patroller Brainwave. So this is something where, I don't know, when you're going out on a walk and you want to talk to ChatGPT and just prompt something, or you can use this to versatile, just listen, just for focus and concentrations, and we can adapt other things that we integrate into it. And then basically, let me see. I also have kind of like this so with RAG, AI agents can have a thing for the users, the individuals, where they can do orders and order food. So obviously like feeding the data and just adding all this cool stuff to it. And this is just pretty much kind of, and I think I'm right about time. I basically just have a
Okay,
roadmap
thank
to
you
all
so
this.
much. Thank you so much. Hey, the
Okay.
one-man show. It's
Yeah.
it's fun, isn't it?
It's
Isn't it?
fun. I didn't realize it was.
Again, this is why we do this. Okay, this is why we do this. Okay, good stuff. All right, let's go.
Yeah, this is
The next people. Thank you for that, John.
Yeah, no
Stanley.
problem. Thank you.
And L twice.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Fire away, my friend.
All right, good. I'll just start off with a blanket statement. I'm a degenerate gambler. Been that way since 12. Before there were any computers and sports books, I was the old school bookie at 12 with, you know, the pen and paper. So it's a passion of mine, basically. And there's always been a stigma around the gambling. But I've had this discussion with my wife and friends. It's funny. I think there's less risk to me in sportsbook gambling than there is in our financial market. That's a whole different story. I can go on and on. But anyway, let's get back to the purpose of this app. So this app is going to do one key thing. Sports betting, like the financial markets, is about reducing risk when you make an investment. And what this tool is going to do is utilize AI to be able to reduce the amount of risk. There's two key components when you do sports betting. It's like, it's not a lot of what you see in TV is it ties to emotional betting and you become a compulsive gambler. But there's a whole wing of people who actually use sports betting the same way you would do like a financial portfolio. And that's kind of where I'm going with what we're going to discuss here. So what this app is going to do, it's going to go get the team data from the NBA. We can expand it to other sports. It's going to get the odds, and it's going to do a prediction about what team it thinks is going to be the best team to win. And it's going to utilize a key component of sports betting called EV, which is expected value. That's very important because if there's one team that can beat the other one, and it's pretty obvious, you'd have to bet $500 to win $2, and that's not what you want to do. You want to find that balance of the right bet, and this is what one of the things this is going to do. And I have a slide here that actually says the importance of EV betting for a sports bettor. It's like it's the most, you're going to hear that a lot, like expected value. So you can do any type of research to see that's what sports bettors really look at. What's the EV on a particular bet? With that said, I'm going to get to a demo. I have a demo in my Google Colab, but I wanted to talk about the data points that I'm using. I'm using a API hub called Rapid API. We're getting live sports odds. We're getting live NBA stats. And a couple of things that I've wanted, I haven't really got into it yet, is I really want to get the temperature of the star player. So there's a API called Fancy Twitter and Can Rapid, which is entertainment, where it gathers sort of like the mental psyche of a player for that game to feed it into that algorithm to make the prediction. So I haven't got that working, but I do have the odds. So what we want to do is try to get as much data points as we can when we make our prediction. I'm using OpenAI's 3.5 turbo model and those API points to make the prediction. And then this is the flow here. I'm not going to go through everything, but basically what it's going to do is it's going to configure an API call to get the NBA stats. Once it gets the stats, it's going to find out what's the next game for the team that you have listed. It's going to gather odds data. It's going to analyze the team performance. Then it's going to predict the next game, and then it's going to explain to you why it made that prediction. So with that said, let's get over to some fun stuff here and run this puppy. Can you guys see my screen now? Did it change over to my notebook or no? Okay. Now
Yeah.
we're gonna run some code. A couple of things I want to go to is couple constants that I'm using right now. When I'm a developer right now, so I'm showing you what's sort of behind the scenes here. But I'm going to use the NICs. And this is real-time data here. When I click that run button, you're going to see the screen. It's going to be real-time data. The reason this is interesting, I experimented with all these teams. I think this is one of the few upsets, and it explains to you why. So let's click the run button. Here's the moment of truth to see what happens here. We're going to click the run button, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to warn you, the output is not the prettiest, but you can see it, and we'll talk through it. Let's see what we get. Come on, green button. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Green button. There we go. We got data. Let's go see what it looks like. Scroll down by my messy code here. So let's go through the data here. So I had the Knicks picked. So, I mean, as the team that I wanted to find out what's going to happen. This is, and what it says is that it actually says bet on the Portland Trailblazers to win. And these are American odds, meaning how much you would win. If you betted $100 on the Trailblazers, you'd win $45. It gives the win likelihood. It's only 55%. It's moderate. It's not that high. And then it goes through like the team stats, and all this was pulled in. It gives you a breakdown of some of the key trends, and it gives you key insight. I actually added in my prompt, I actually ask it to talk about EV and any what's called player prop bets. So it gives you this complete breakdown of what it thinks this game is going to be. And this game hasn't played yet. It's about to happen at 9 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to do one more.
Speaking of upsets, I am upset that I have to cut you off because this looks great. I'm very interested. Great job. Unfortunately, I do have to move on. But I love where you're going with that. Let's go to good stuff. All right, I got a DIY agent coming up next.
Okay, guys. Earlier today, Duke and Tony were talking about building some solutions in the AI space, in the industry that you're in, helping business problems. That's exactly what we did. That is, Frank China is about agentic AI. AI has evolved. We are moving beyond passive tools to agentic AI. Think of it as an intelligent agent that can understand, plan, and execute tasks independently. This autonomy is the key to unlocking true transformations in customer service, operations, and beyond. It is just not a trend, it's a fundamental change for medium to large enterprises. What is the problem we are trying to solve with agentic AI and why? Agentic AI solution enables efficient self-service in today's customer-centric environment. Also enables frictionless experience to customers. Some of the examples that we have listed there is a jumping off point for discussing more advanced self-service solutions that are possible with agentic AI solutions. Slide 3 depicts the architecture of agentic AI solutions where users interacting with agents, which in turn talks to LLM for reasoning, and then performs completes actions with the tools that are defined by in the programs. The frameworks that we are using are Streamlabs, LangGraph, OpenAI, and SQLite database for the demo that you are going to see in the near term. So the benefits of the agentic solutions is it's more faster, personalized support, streamlining workflows, cost savings to customer service operations, and frees up customer agents to do more complex tasks. So in today's world, exceptional customer service isn't a choice, it's a necessity. Smart agent solutions empower you to deliver exactly that. Reduce cost, boost satisfaction, and gain a competitive advantage. So now moving on to demo. So in this demo, first what we want to ask is, we want to demonstrate that we are using an LLM to get a response. The LLM that we are using, the OpenAI. So what is the capital of the USA? So it comes back. That shows that we are integrating, where we have integrated with OpenAI. So the next question is, there are two tools we have in this demo. One is address, creating an address for a customers, and then setting preferences. So the first question is, let's create an address for Joe. Let's create an address for Joe. And then the program successfully created an address. That's the response we got. Let's validate by asking, what is Joe's address? That's good. It comes back with a response. And now let's use the secondary tool we have for the preferences. Let's set Joe's preferences to marketing. Let's make sure by asking the question to retrieve the Joe's preferences. And one other question is, to test our program, let's make sure it works for one or more customers, and create an address for Mo. And then what is Mo's address? The response successfully said, let's query for both Joe and Mo's address in a table format. And here what you get to see is both of their addresses successfully retrieved from the database. That concludes the simple agentic solution that we have developed for the demo purposes. Thank you, guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the best way to predict the future is to create it. Agentic AI transforms machines from passive tools into proactive problem solvers, capable of independent reasoning and dynamic decision-making, ushering in a new era of intelligent collaboration. Over to you, Frank.
Talk about saving the best for last of the presentation. Nicely done.
The value of agents is basically making easier the access to the information and the different applications through natural language. So this is the power of AI, Gen AI we have now in the market. And the point is, we have this technology available for any use case. As you can see, we have only one use case for customer support, but imagine if you implement agents for different processes and different industries. So this is a big differentiator we have right now, and we need to adopt that. Thank you.
I apologize for interrupting. I thought you guys were done. Great stuff, you guys. And it was interesting. I was talking about in the chat with someone is that Satish had asked me about the recording idea, and it was an interesting move. There's definitely pros and cons, but I like it. Sorry, Kevin, I can't answer any questions. We do need to move on. Feel free to send me a message in the chat. Let's see who is next here. We have, let's see, so that we have the AI-powered outfit recommendations. This is interesting.
All right. So that's going to be me, Tony. Let me know once you're able to see my screen.
You're good, my friend.
All right. So this goal was to see how I can help someone like a professional to just come up with what they need to wear, because that has been an issue after staying in at home and supporting remote. Now going to office 3 days a week or 4 days a week, 4 times a week has become a little bit of a challenge, where wardrobe has been a little bit out of sync with fashion, but at least trying to see how things can still be worked out without much of an hassle. So the way I came about trying to do this was answering the simple question, what should I wear? That's like everybody's new morning question, what they need to wear. And after thinking through it, I just thought, let me just try to make it very simple for individuals. So we just want our AI model to know you. So to create that, first and foremost is to look at your inventory of clothes that you have. So we have got a mobile app that would upload all the pictures of your existing clothes, and you can just upload it automatically. Second is just to understand your style, like, because we want to also recommend what you should be you could wear on that day. So that's just upload your pictures that you may worn as part of the gallery. So this is making sure our model is training on its own, trying to understand who you are. And the third is that it's very important is the dress for the day, season, or occasion. So we want to make sure we have got something that is appropriate for that particular day, what you're trying to do, what's the season and everything. So it's making it much more cohesive for the individual to enjoy their day and feel confident. So all through this, we want to make sure that there's only one goal that we are trying to achieve, and that is to make sure you dress to impress. So the key flows that we have is for this For You application is tagging from inventory. So goal is that we would, as soon as you take a picture of your clothing, it will have all the tags that you can provide. So this is all going to be automatically created, but you can confirm or update based on the options available, and you can add your additional tags you would like to, just to make sure that we can go back and retrieve that information. And second is the learning from your style, which is your picture, confirm and update. Here also we are trying to understand what you are wearing, just to make sure it's in the office. This is how we are looking at it, where the individual can adjust based on their preference. And as soon as one is ready to get a recommendation, using Siri or Google Assistant, we can say, for you, casual and chic for the evening. So that's the voice prompt that one can give, and based on that, the recommendation comes up that this is what the tool recommends. Now, the point is that either you can say accept it, or confirm, or go to next one. So it is going to come up with the next recommendation. That's the flow I've been thinking from an overall perspective. And from a detailed standpoint, the demo that I could not put together completely, but the goal is that I started with this Adolo, which is a no-code platform that provides the mobile app. And for the AI model, we have got two to get started. One is the image classification for training the models. So pre-trained CNN and transformer-based written clip, both of them are available on Hugging Face. At the same time, we have got the output matching and recommendation, that is content-based filtering, collaborative filtering in GNN and NCF. So these are also available on Hugging Face. So once we create that ID, leverage those APIs, we can connect to our mobile app and start using it. And to train our model, we have got a couple of data sets that are also available on Kaggle. So deep fashion data set, which has got around 41,000 outfits that you can try to check it out. We have got the fashion MNST and lookbook data set. So just make sure it gets all the right training it needs, just to identify and create those tags required to automatically help you when you are uploading the photos. Goal is that some of the key risks that we have to identify, because risks are super important in this as it's personal. Also, we want to make sure the data privacy and protection are, we want to adhere to those, which includes GDPR, CCPA, COPPA, which is for kids under 13, and AI governance and transparency. So these are something that we have to think through completely when we are putting this kind of solution in place. Second is the PCI framework for cybersecurity and fraud prevention in case if you want to monetize this and accept credit cards. And the third one is the ethical and responsible data use. So algorithmic accountability and fairness from gender, race, and body types. As this is clothing related, we want to ensure that we cover those areas as well. And we have got other bias detection tools like the AI Fairness 360 and Google What If.
Got to cut you off, my friend. That's actually really interesting. Sorry to do it.
Yep, that's
great
it.
app idea.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have, let's see here, the handwritten receipts.
Hi. Okay, you guys can see my screen, right?
We sure can.
Okay, so let's get started. So this is my little app, not app, a suite. I mean, framework I call it as. What I prefer is intelligence, privacy, and AI. So the idea was one of my friend, I helped some of my friends for, AI related, consulting questions and supporting them with some of those use cases, POCs and whatnot. Okay. To start with, the person came in working for ERP in manufacturing. They had a lot of handwritten invoices or manual invoices they wanted to, put it in the system and integrate them. So first thing was, how do I bring in the invoice to the system? Definitely by OCR, right? So created a little this demo, not demo, actually functioning tool for them, and providing them. I'm using ChatGPT at the background for OCR and extracting data what they need for, right? This can be saved to the database, exported results and whatnot. But the bigger problem was how it will integrate with their existing system. So the 6-step process, right? So step 1, document selection. Step 2, automate processing. Then data validation, verification rather. Step 3. And step 4 was, next was, database storage or database mapping rather, and then storing that database into the current system, right? So for that, I happen to go into, I build them, I give them the end-to-end. So the complete flow here, give me 1 second. A little more technical here. So, okay, this should work well. Yeah, okay. So I select the directory where I'm placing the invoices. For the sake of demo, I just removed everything else, kept 2 of those. So it lists me the invoices I placed in that folder. They're all, JPEG files. Start processing. It will process invoice by invoice for the sake of demo. Otherwise it will be a bad job sitting and the background running in the midnight, right? But yeah, so somehow this data, didn't populate well this time. It used to, but yeah. So in general, it should populate the data well, and then I can move it to the mapping of the data. So this is my source, and that is the ERP system where I'm mapping them together and then moving ahead and executing the database mapping and finally saving everything to the invoice tables. So that's how my end-to-end, handwritten invoices or manual invoices can be bring into any database or any ERP solutions or systems for that reason. That's pretty much for today. Yes. So yeah, I can talk about all of the features, but yeah, I think that's for now. Thank you, Tony.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. I like the presentation.
Yep.
Okay, moving along here. We are going to real estate moguls.
Okay, I hope you can see my screen.
We sure can.
Yeah, so yeah, me and Pablo created this deck actually. He really helped on the technical side. So I'm pretty sure everyone, one way or other way, we are involved in the real estate transaction. Let me just, yeah. So this is one of the big, right? So if you look at it, even the last year and this year, when the market is hot, it still takes a lot of time to, close the transaction. It could take like, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, right? The part of the reason is the paperwork and, the things that takes to complete, right? For example, we for this demo purposes, appraisal report is one of them, right? It is costly. It could be $500 to $1,500, depends on whether it's a residential or commercial property, meaning investment property, and it certainly causes delays. And this is one of the example. So the idea is, what if we use AI-powered appraisal platform? So this is going to speed up the process, and it could take matter of minutes, maybe matter of minutes, and it's going to save time and money as well. So it is one of the biggest industry, as you see. And in fact, I was Googling before. This is about $100 trillion market in the entire United States. So there is always a market. So it's a great opportunity. The target customers would be, it could be buyers, sellers, agents, or mainly the banks. Actually, when it comes to appraisal, mostly the financial institutes, they choose the companies. They expect the company to go and visit in person. At the end of the day, they don't do anything specific. They all use 70% is public data, and then they customize it and provide a report aligned to what they're looking for, right? So with this proposed solution, the document could be not only the efficient, it could be cheaper. It could be like maybe we can charge about $200, and then it can be up to $500 if you are really looking for a detailed solution. Yeah, again, we have to comply with the each state and regulations, that I get it. And the part of the reason, the way this solution works is basically we're going to use not only public data, the bunch of videos and pictures, the relevant videos, and using NVIDIA, the AI solution, and we'll be able to analyze and generate the report out of it. And the technical details will be covered a little bit later by Pablo. So, and here is the architecture involved in this. So data ingestion layer is involved. There will be a transaction data where you get most of the information from the public websites, AI generated content. So all this information is recovered, and this is the machine learning used. Machine learning processing will be used for the data, predict analysis in the, like for example, if you take a property, what are the nearby properties, how they sold, what are the costs and everything, and the engine will be generating the report, and at the end, most of the work will be done like 70%. Only 20% is creating a PDF out of it, basically, right? And then access can be granted through mobile app and with a secure web interface or whatever it is. And the data can be publicly available and all, right? So like I said, like this appraisal report, the same manner we can generate a inspection report. It's pretty much similar concept, but different purposes for the negotiation purposes. So it can use all the images and videos based on the, like, for example, bathroom, it can recommend, okay, this is what it needed, our kitchen, right? And home improvement. Home improvement is one of the big things. Sometimes we always approach the subject matter expert. If I had to sell this house for another, 50K or 100K, what are the improvement you can do? So one of the idea that I thought is the solar installation, for example. At the end of the day, that's become so much marketing, but using this technology, it can be very precise information on the savings versus the spending and all, right? So with that, I'll stop it. I'll let you, Pablo, take it over and just go with the remaining slides, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And
So
you can cover the standout too. And then I'll move on to the next page when you're ready. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, the whole solution we have been segregated for the couple of the pieces. So you see the blocks on as a reference architecture. But I want to jump to the heart of the solution. So let's jump to the next slide. Yeah, so on this slide you see the AI workflow, how the solution gonna work. So from the left top corner, you see top 5 features, how this application gonna work. And on the left bottom part, you see the diagram itself, which is reflected the NVIDIA AI blueprint. So the decision to use NVIDIA AI blueprint was buy versus build from scratch, because it's accelerated time to market and help us to get the first MVP like in 4 months. And from the right side, you see the exact steps of this workflow. I will not jump into each of them because of the timing, but I would say the following. Because this problem is like very small, but it has the significant scale. Like 6 million of the houses are sold in the United States every year. So even if we will touch this small subset of these houses and will provide the inspections in almost real time, that's the blue ocean. I mean, that's the ability to create a market without competition and get up to the 50 million in a projected revenue within the first 5 years, with the initial investment about 3 to 6 million for the next 5 years. Yeah, I see that we need to we're running out of time. So yeah, Tony, moving slides back to you. Thank you.
Great job, you guys. This is really interesting. I love the process workflow. Good stuff. Yeah, 5 minutes. It's a bummer sometimes. But that was really good. What do we got here? We have the handwriting reader. Sanjay.
Okay.
Can you guys stop sharing on the other one too, please?
Oh,
there you
sorry.
go. No problem. Thank you.
So can everyone see my screen share?
Sure can.
Okay. So this is the application is handwriter reader using AI. I wanted to thank Vatsala Upadhyay and Piyush Mittal for helping me out with the presentation and putting these slides together. The idea is, how can we use current generation AI and technologies to better understand handwritten notes? The origin of the project is that what I found was that my current client has a huge collection of handwritten notes. And for all these handwritten notes, they currently don't have a solution. Like they are actively looking for a solution in the market, which will enable them to read the notes. This will help them populate data on their database correctly and those things. So this handwriter reader using AI is using something called a large vision model. This model is created by Microsoft, and I have a working demo on Hugging Face. So we will have some sample demos from the client, and then we will also look at some of the sheets shared by the client itself. So AI handwritten with large vision model, the challenges are like client has old handwritten documents and no dates on equipment installation. It prevents them from doing preventive maintenance. This leads to loss of revenue and reputation. The task given for the project is like read handwriting and replace with actual text, ensure dates are properly read and populated properly, and based on the above, define new preventive maintenance schedule. The action steps I took were like identify a model which will help reading handwriting and create this demo on Hugging Face. So for this purposes, selected Microsoft's Florence 2 module, upload relevant examples provided by client and convert to text, and then populate database with the correct preventive maintenance schedule. The outcome was the OCR text from like very hard to read documents is now converted to real text. Database is populated properly with high quality data. And now we have a more robust preventive maintenance schedule. So the next thing I want to do is like show some of the documents which the client shared. And these are like very old documents, hard to read. The handwriting varies from person to person. So it's like a really complex problem. This application is currently running on Hugging Face. This is the URL, Sanjay9876 handwriting reader. And what I can do is something as simple as this. I can like drag one of the documents here and run submit, and it will just do the processing of the document itself and create what it sees in the document here actually. So really amazing, not perfect, but great to like solves a lot of problems that the client has. Also, like I will drag another document here and sorry, drag another document here and click on submit, and you will find that it has converted this document also to a reasonable extent. I just want to show one more document and demonstrate that the solution is not perfect. So if I click on this and say submit, what you will find is like this is like Tinkerbell actually, but when it ran the large vision model, it converted this to like Jinkerbell. So what will actually happen is that in addition to using large vision model, there will also be something like a large language model, which will like further enhance the confidence level of the output of this. This model that I am using, large vision model, I am using it for OCR. But as you can see here, it can do a lot of other things. So it is not limited to just OCR. You can do like all kinds of other tasks that will enable like further usage of this actually. That's all for me. So this is like a live example using like real examples from the client. This pipeline that I have created here will get used for like converting handwritten notes to real text at bulk level. So
excellent presentation and very well timed. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the final presentation of Demo Day, March 2025. Duke, why don't you go? Then we'll share some thoughts as a group about this afterwards.
Everybody demo is out. This go great. Let
A
me
lot of
start.
pressure on you now, being the teacher.
Yeah. Plus, you know, it's a rule set. You always have to vote for the last presenter. I'll go directly to the demo. So this is CNN convolutional neural network image classification for rather than for looking at butterfly, the train data set trained on skin cancers. And of course, you use it on the phone, right? So if you look on the phone, it'll be the same thing, or you can see my phone. The same application can run on the phone. I can't demo on the phone, so I just use this setup. So on the phone, there's a model, and basically it defines, well, let me just run a demo. So connect to my phone. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna look at my skin. Hopefully I don't have any cancer on my hand. And click taking the pictures, and would say, hey, benign, yeah, pretty much. I have no cancers on my hand. But I think for most of this data is coming from clinical data. That's why I can trick it just by doing something like this. Okay, take another picture. And I add in a little orange peel in my hand. Look like a cancer to you? Yeah, look like a cancer to me. Take a picture. Bingo. Well, it's a 50-50 chance. That's a good. The reason is the data is all from clinical trained data. And the reason I'm doing all these CNN models, I license them out, guys. I do dozens of these, and I license them out, not sell them, license them 2,000 to 15,000 per license. People will use them for their POC, proof of concept, or whatever they need. I know a lot of VP in finance, in healthcare. So I built this model and I charge them X amount of dollar to license it. I wrote a paper that fully explained all what this model doing. So you can click on the link and see the model explained. But the paper explained most of the time explains just about how I get the data, how I clean the data. So all about data. The F1 score is very interesting. Look at this. Some do really bad, some do really good. So it's not a good set. But the point is that I do these models and I license them out because I own the model. Remember CNN? I own the model. I can license them out, and to people who use them through API, they can use them. So that is it. That the skin diagnose model using CNN, trying to make passive income, and you can make a good passive income. I got dozens of them. I continue to license them out as people needed it. That's it, Tony. Oh, by the
That
way,
was amazing.
yeah. By the way,
that was
yeah,
definitely
here's some
amazing.
disease, but you can tell most of them I can't even pronounce. So those are disease that from skin cancer I can find. There you go.
I think it's a fascinating use case and just really opens people's eyes to what AI vision models can do. Okay, so
make money with it.
yeah, I love passive income. Okay, so now I'm gonna leave the voting open.
Oh, do we have 2 or 3, Tony?
You can vote for up to 3. You don't have to. You can vote for 1.
Up to 3.
Yeah, up to 3. And then I don't know if I can. This might not have possibly worked. The provide feedback. For some reason, I'm having a hard time with that. But I'm going to leave the voting open for a little bit. So let's all. Oh, maybe it's because I can't vote. I think is what it is. It looks like other people can enter in feedback, but I guess because it's my poll, I cannot. So I will follow up with my own notes. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do is share the poll again. It should be on the bottom of your Zoom screen, or your Zoom tools. I'm gonna pause the recording here.
Conversation with all of you. So I'm looking for Tony to get his form up and running, so we continue discussion. Because for me too, I'm teaching the class because of I want to meet people more above anything. Tony in the same boat. He and I are comfortable enough not to have to teach to make a living. We teach it because we want to meet people. We want to expand our network. So really thank you for everyone who in the class.
Okay, guys, great job, and I really mean that. And let's go ahead and look one more time at the winning prize here. I mean, again, so many good projects. Congratulations to the Hurricane Riders. We will be in touch. And like I said, I've got a couple little surprises or things I'm going to do that are fun with the demo day. And I look forward to keeping up with all of you. And thank you for starting the WhatsApp. And like I said, stay tuned because we have some other things in store as well. All right. Cheers, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.